Hi guys, welcome to Trees Crafts and More. My name's Teresa and today we're going to be making hanging Easter egg decorations. So the first thing I have here is 6 hollowed out eggs, and I'm going to show you in a second here how to do that. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is wash and dry your eggs, and I used a little dish soap to get the bacteria off, and then I poked a hole in the top and the bottom with a push pin. And then you're going to take a toothpick and you're going to shove the toothpick down in the egg and pop the yolk. And then you're going to just blow the yolk out from one hole through the other into a bowl so you can save your yolks and your eggs, and because they are expensive. And then you're going to... Okay, so I was using Peachy Pink by Apple Barrel, and it was matte acrylic, but it wasn't going on right with the paintbrush. And then I changed colors. I'm now using Rose. This is by Smart. And I also have a little sponge thingy on a stick. I got this at, I forgot what these are called. I got this at the dollar store. And I've just been dabbing it on the egg. Now some glitter. I'm going to go over it while it's wet. And now I'm going to just sit this down to dry. I have a towel over here at the side. I'm going to sit it on the dry side on my towel so it doesn't roll. Okay, so this one I painted with a paintbrush. The first paint, the pink, peachy pink one, I don't know why it's not old, but it had like a bunch of lumps in it and stuff, like dots, and I didn't like how it was looking. That's why I switched paints and I tried the sponge paint, but it seemed to work with this one with just the paintbrush. And the color I'm using on this one is acrylic by Anita's, and I'm trying to see if it's got any other thing. Okay, light turquoise. So that's what I'm using for this one. So I've painted half of that, and I'm going to go ahead, and this one I'm not putting any glitter on. I'm going to go ahead and let this dry on the towel. Okay, so now I'm going to Mod Podge some eggs, and I did do some already, but I didn't like how they came out, so I'm going to redo it. What I'm using is Mod Podge, the gloss one. I have some in a lid over there. It's a pickle jar lid I've washed out and saved. I have napkins from the dollar store. Okay, so on the napkins there's usually 2 layers. I'm going to separate them and put the other layer aside. So I'm going to cut little strips. Maybe even little squares. I did bigger pieces last time, and it was kind of hard to hold on to the egg and do it at the same time, and so my fingers were sticking to it, and I was re-sticking it down, and it just kind of looked a little bumpy and sloppy, and I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to show that one. So I'm going to attempt it over. So I'm going to try like maybe this, or even maybe a little smaller, maybe do it in half like squares. See which one will go on there a lot easier. Also, I'm cutting out the flowers. I'm cutting those a little bit bigger because I don't want to cut the whole flower out of the piece of napkin. And I also last time, halfway when I was making it, I decided to get a wooden skewer and stick it through both holes on the hollowed out egg to hold on to it so I'd quit sticking my fingers to it, but I'd already pretty much ruined the egg before I decided to do that or thought of that. And I have a box here. I don't know, you could probably take a bowl or some kind of object like this. So when I do put the egg over here, I can dry it on here and I can lay it across, and that way the egg will float in the middle and it won't be directly sitting on the towel over there because it was sticking to that too. The glitter one seemed to do fine, not sticking to the towel, and the one I painted, but yeah, that one didn't seem to work so good. And you want to go back over it with the Mod Podge. Go back, and I want to get here. I'm going to try a square now, see if that works. I want to get to all the way to the hole of the egg right here, so. Okay, so I finished it. It's all wet right now, so I'll show it to you after it's dried. Okay, so that one's drying right now, and while that dries, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint the next one. And I have Apple Barrel Lime Tree is the color. It's matte acrylic paint. This actually says quick drying, so alright, so I don't have the whole thing painted because I got my hands down here. I'm going to go ahead and let this dry now, and then I will paint the bottom portion of it, and I might go over it with a second coat, and then I'm going to put a design on it. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be putting a string on it to hang it. And I am using stretch cording. This has 4 colors. It came in a couple other colors too, I believe. This is from the dollar store. I have some other stretch cording. Actually, it doesn't say stretch cording, it's just cording, bead landing. And you can see that I've been using it. This I got at Michael's, I believe. And I just have some of that left. It's a little thicker. It's not as stretchy. I think I'm going to use the stretching one. And it was cheaper. It was from the dollar store. I did take a piece of tape and I attached it to the end of the string to make it stiff to go through both holes of the egg. And that didn't seem to work. So I am now going to try this idea. I took a wooden skewer and I have taped it to the end, and this is the top of the egg. I'm using the narrow part of the egg as the top of the egg, so I want to go down through the egg this way with the string. Hopefully this works. And it worked. So I also tried to decide how much of this I needed because I want it hanging, and I wanted to make sure I had enough room for tying a knot on it and tying it up to the ceiling. I wanted it to hang long enough. So, you know, it depends on where you're going to put it. Alright, so I've also selected beads for each egg to go with each egg, the colors and stuff. And this one here is like a little wooden butterfly. I thought that would be neat. I also have buttons. I have some colored buttons, and it came in a package that had like yellow, turquoise, this bright pink and orange, and I'm sure they had other colors. I think they had primary, but I got this at Walmart. And that's going to be on here too, kind of as a stopper. So I have the bottom of the egg. Okay, so first thing I did was I took the smaller button. I tried it a second ago with the larger one, and I think the smaller one works better. Anyway, this is going to be like a stopper from keeping the egg from sliding. And because if I just tied a knot, it would probably just go right through the hole. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this like 3 times. Cut it, pull on it again, and then I have it so the knot was showing, or not showing, it's actually underneath. So the egg is actually sitting on the button. And then now we're going to start with some beads. Alright. So, and you can just find any beads you want to do this, whatever you'd like. Wood beads, glass beads, whatever will fit on your string too. So I have this little kind of a glass bead here. And I'm going to go ahead and put that, actually, you know, I think I'm going to do a pink one first because that'll stand out more sitting next to the green. So I actually have some wood beads here that are from the dollar store. So I'll do the pink. And then I think I'm going to do that green one. Hopefully I'm in the view of the camera. I'm trying to... I think that, let's see, we'll go ahead and we'll do another pink one. You know what, in the dollar store beads, the wood ones, sometimes the back is closed off, and if you stick a skewer through it and twist it a second, it'll open it up the rest of the way. It's like sealed off by the paint. Right, there's that. Okay, so there's that one. I'm going to use this one now. I'm a little bird. I have a set of beads that I picked out for that one. And I've picked out the blue string and I've taped it to the end of the skewer to get it through the egg. I'm going to go through the top of the egg. I kind of made a huge hole in the bottom. Hopefully that won't show when I get the button on it though. And I'm holding onto the string here, pulling it through. And I'm going to detach this. All right. So the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and tie a button onto it. So I'm going through one hole. I've got the flat side of the button because it's round on that side. I'm going through one hole, coming back through the other. And I'm going to tie a knot about 3 times. If I can get a hold of it. So the knot is on the flat side of the button, and then when I pull it up, the flat side will be leaning up against the bottom of the egg, so it'll even out better, it'll balance out better. I'm going to tie 2 more knots here to make sure. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And, oops. Trying to get this in there. It's about that much left. Tighten it more. And that won't be showing because it's going to be on the underside of the egg. Which, let me show you my stopper. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting beads on. And I think we'll go with a blue first. So there's that one. Lay that one down. Okay, so the next egg I did kind of Pennsylvania Dutch art on it. I painted it on. Painted the egg green first. Here. Oh, that's much better. There you go. And then I went ahead and I picked colors that were primary colors. Except for the green. The egg's the green part of that. And again, I don't need the big button. So, I guess I'll take the blue string this time. This is an egg that I did with glitter. I painted it a pink, and then I put glitter on the wet paint. And I actually did like 2 coats of glitter on it. And my dog's gonna be whining in the background here. And there's a little star bead in here that I found, a little plastic star bead. So there's that one. I'm gonna go ahead and stop right there.